Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, here on day 4 of the Formnext 2024, here at the industry stage with a fantastic program to come. It's incredible, it's already the last day of Formnext. Time quickly flies by and we experienced, heard and seen so much. But if you thought we might ease up the last day, I must disappoint you, because even on our last day we have a fantastic program to come. It's all about artificial intelligence, and secondly, we kick off the day with a super important topic in our industry. We're going to talk about the AM I Navigator. In order to do so, I have some very important persons here in my panel, so let me introduce them. To my left, Dr. Karsten Heuser. Karsten, good to have you here. You are Vice President for Additive Manufacturing at Siemens Digital Industries, correct?
Good morning, yes.
Good morning,
Thank
Karsten,
you.
good to have you. Felix Ewald, CEO and co-founder of Dimension. Felix, good to have you.
Good to be here, thank you.
Then we have new in the round of AM Navigator. We'll talk about this later. Andreas Langfeld, who's President EMEA and APAC at Stratasys. Andreas, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Then a person I don't need to introduce, it's Christoph Stüker, who is Vice President Formnext at Messago Messe Frankfurt. Christoph, good to have you.
Hello, good morning.
And of course, my partner in crime, Frank Jablonski. Frank, good to have you.
Sven, a pleasure.
Yeah. So, Karsten, we are going to talk about AM I Navigator. So my first question would be, it was introduced exactly 1 year ago here at Formnext 2023. How has it been so far? What are the results after 1 year?
Yeah, actually, we started with the idea 1.5 years ago, then had first companies by November last year to introduce it. You would normally say it was a minimal viable model at this time.
Yeah.
So the idea, we tested the idea, we had the first concept for the model itself. But then during the year, we continuously worked on that. A new topic is that we expanded our tech companies joining us with Stratasys. The second one is we worked on the model itself. So in the meantime, we have more than 150 descriptions how to successfully industrialize additive, part of a 10-chapter kind of manual for the AM I Navigator. We worked with we've had user conferences to work on, learn from the producer, the designer. One example we have here as well, and we started to have what we call transformational insights. So if you go from one step to the other, what would be a best recipe, practice to do so? So we started to collect this. Now it's much more mature. We all signed a contract, and now we are ready to scale and increase this AM I Navigator further.
Very good. So increasing expansion. Frank, I think we have a short clip that we might introduce here. We had a very interesting interview, but please let us know what it's about. And
yeah, on Wednesday we had Peter Curtis, the CTO, CSO, your boss, I think, from Siemens here on stage. And he said it's still a challenge to provide the orientation in AM. And that was his pointing out the reason why it's so important that he, on his level of management, is supporting that activity. And yeah, maybe let's have a look what he said.
The key insight in the digitalization space is ecosystems need to be open so that everybody can contribute but also benefit from. Right. It is an offer for the community. The more the merrier. Again, it is really making that precious knowledge available widespread so that we can make everybody, scale up faster, industrialize faster.
So, Felix,
yeah.
Felix, my question to you, he mentioned open ecosystem, the more the better. How do we expand? Because Karsten mentioned it already, you want to expand, you want to get bigger, so how do you expand? What are the criteria to get more, I don't know, do you call them members or inside the AM I Navigator?
So, first of all, I think per definition, we tried to create a framework, and a framework is only relevant if many people are using it, if many people are contributing it. So it's clear for us that we are an open framework. And for now, we are 6 members, and we will onboard now more members. There is quite some interest out there, and we will do this now in the next months to just onboard more people directly to the consortium. But the good thing is you don't need directly to be part of the consortium to contribute.
Yeah.
So Karsten mentioned the transformational insights. This is something that also others can contribute, even though they are not part of the consortium. So we don't need necessarily everyone to be part of the core group, but we will open it up in a way that many companies can contribute. And on the website that we will launch soon, we will have some tools then also for the users. And hopefully we will be able to create something where a lot of people contribute and use the framework.
I mean, they're the major player participating. Andreas, you just joined. What was the motivation to join, first of all, and what will be your contribution?
So first of all, it's a good idea, and we like good ideas, so we decided to join. And it's addressing a lot of the needs that our industry has right now. One is there needs to be a better collaboration amongst the OEMs that are providing solutions in 3D printing. And that's an important thing, because from a customer perspective, there is no single company that provides everything that I need in order to adapt 3D printing. Yeah. So the collaboration, one important point, and the other one, it's addressing the need of the customer to understand how to adopt. What are my needs? First of all, what is my level of maturity? And collaborating with different players from the industry, you get many different insights. We provide our insights from the perspective of a hardware solution material provider. So we do understand the pain points of the potential users on that end. But then there is other barriers that need to be crossed, like software or design for additive. So I think the contribution of many, many players are making this very sound and are really bringing values to the people out there who consider using 3D printing.
So it's very good to have you on board. I think you all agree. Fantastic, and thank you so much. Christoph, from a Formnext perspective, I mean, you probably feel like I do. We observe the industry for years now, and you're much closer than I am. So we are seeing more and more industrialization. What do you think as Formnext of AM I Navigator, and how does it help? And how do you gonna plan in the future to probably be part of it or to support it?
Well, first of all, our job is to bring the AIM community here together in Frankfurt, and we manage to, well, I think we do a good job so far with 4 exhibition halls full of technology technology providers. And then the next job is to bring visitors here, potential clients for you, and potential adopters of AM. And that's a big task. And to do that, we also put on these stage programs to inspire them, to give them an approach to AM. But at the same time, you can never go that deep into the technology to give them a real approach. It's just to inspire them, really. And the next step, the next logical step, is to give them maybe that framework to create shortlists, to be educated when you come here. You have a shortlist of potential technologies that you should look at and maybe find your way through Formnext more easily in the future. And that's why it's very interesting for us to hopefully and potentially include it in some way in Formnext to make the navigation of Formnext easier.
Yeah, it is. Karsten, I mean, not everybody knows exactly what AM I Navigator is. I mean, we all knew it because we introduced it and we talked about the cooperation before. So, I mean, this is a chance as well to inspire new users. So how is it working? Can you give us a brief overview?
I don't know if you have kids. Just assume you come home and your son, your daughter, you give them 1,000 Lego bricks and say, let's build a car, and you build a starship and you say, good luck. Yeah. This is sometimes how customers feel getting a machine, a post-processing, a software piece, but they want to build a rocket engine, they want to build a piece for an electronic part, or they want to build spare part on demands. So it's probably a good choice that you come and say, I have a manual, and you can look through the manual, okay, let's build the starship, and somebody tells you in the manual how to build it. And that's a nice comparison we made for the Navigator. I give you 2 examples how it works. We worked with 1:1 prototype in Dornbirn. So we came together for half a day. The CEO, the engineering head, the quality head, the manufacturing head, and the whole team worked on a lot of posters on these level descriptions. In the first part, we worked, where do you stand in terms of design capabilities, production quality, management, sustainability, in all the different angles. This was already an interesting debate because they didn't have the same opinion where they stand.
Eye-opening for sure, yeah.
And then the second was, where do you want to go in 3 and 5 years? They want to develop from prototype to serial production. This will require changes, adaptations, and transformations from the shop floor, IT, connectivity, management systems. And at the end, they told, in terms of what is the first priority, and gave us homework as tech provider, what we should do to support this transformation. So after half of the day, they still use this as their roadmap in the next weeks, and we know much better how to support as a tech company. Partly as well, we have homework now to do, interfaces, IT, OT integration between machines to make the life easier, more productive and efficient for such a user. And that's how it works in really getting traction under that. And as you mentioned, there will be recipes, examples, we call it transformational insights, and everyone from Formnext, from the industry, can hand in this kind of transformational insights, how to make it happen and how to give examples, what you have done successfully.
Yeah. Felix, I would be interested in, we were talking about Formnext is reflecting the whole process chain, and with your Lego example, I think it's clear that you need the whole process chain. How does AM I Navigator reflect the whole process chain? First question. And second question, wouldn't be the red thread through all what we said, the digital twin? That's a question for you, I think. But let's first answer the first question.
Yeah. So we all know in the end it's about the end-to-end solution for the customers. And we just talked about when we go to customers, for them it's not just about one part of the technology. They have clear plans where they want to be. And especially for us, as I mentioned, we are also using the AM I Navigator to show our roadmap to the customers, how we support their needs. And the customers expect from us, the technology providers, that we come up with joint roadmaps. Because, as I said, for them it's not about just scaling one technology. They need to scale the whole factory, and that's why customers are expecting us to work together and come up with joint roadmaps that exactly support their needs.
But do you already have, for each step of the process chain, an equal as a person you can talk to from reflecting, you know, the past processing? You're responsible maybe for the first steps, how to get to a CAD print, but past processing is very various about looking at the different methods. So you need a lot of companies reflecting all the different process chain steps.
I can give you an example. Siemens Mobility is one of the biggest suppliers for the German railway, Deutsche Bahn. They do spare parts on demand on high level already, using a lot of machines from Andy, from Stratasys. Now, coming from the strategy that you need spare parts on demand, it's a good idea to have very small cells, highly flexible, probably not automated, standing in every depot, in every world, because it all matters on time between the demand and the delivery. It's not so much probably on the actual cost of the spare part, because if a train stands 1 hour later in the depot, you should better have the part. But then there are other companies here showing producing 4 million metal parts in 4 months. It's probably a good idea to have a highly efficient plant, one facility with a really integrated, we call it digital thread, from the digital twins as well the real machines, and you should better have everything under control, how you have a closed loop of material, how the machines are unpacked, how the transfer of each step is, how you trace your processes. Solutions are totally different depending on the application. Both have a different business model. For the 4 million parts, it's all about cost per part and quality per part, because otherwise you don't make any profit. And then it's the digital twins, but as well the real world, because at the end parts are produced on the real shop floor in machines, and these machines need to nicely work together. But depending on the strategy, solution, recipes, manuals would be slightly different to be successful to earn money with that.
And you can provide that orientation with just 6 companies reflecting the whole different processes you just pointed out.
The 6 companies started this journey.
Exactly.
And in this regard, yes, we probably will have many more as well joining the consortium. We have a long list of companies we are already starting to talk to as well. We always try to complement us in the value chain, material, machine, software, automation. And then on the other side, we have the user using this kind of tool, so we will learn as well from them. I had companies like Siemens Energy. They told me at Formnext, hey, if I would have had this 6 years ago, I might have been much faster. Or companies like Lego being the leader in really industrial production. So we need their help, their requirements. And then we talk to Formnext, because we have here how many Lego pieces as booths.
So you
how
can
to make manuals as well out of the Lego pieces at Formnext. If someone comes here, has a spare part on demand business case, he probably find a navigation based on this model, where to go
so
and what kind of
you can point out the technology. You must not necessarily point out the company providing the right technology. Did I get it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I would add to that it's not so much about the detailed content. We don't need to have it figured out 100%. It's more about standardizing also the language that we use in the industry. Yeah. It's about limiting confusion or avoiding confusion. When you visit Formnext and you see all of those companies, some call it use case, others call it application. And the language that we're using is not standardized. And that leads to potentially a lack of trust into additive manufacturing. And what we need to accomplish is to make people trust that it's a robust manufacturing method that you can use today and not in 10 years. So I think the collaboration, the open and transparent dialogue, also admitting what does not work, is super important for the industry.
And what I see, what you mentioned, Karsten, it's speeding up the process in an incredible way. Because I remember in the past, you might think about what kind of machine do I buy. So then you buy the machine, you start printing parts, and you see, oh, I need to do something with the parts because I can't use them right away. So you probably tackle Felix and say, Felix, what can we do about post-processing? And then you come up to quality control. And then you build it up step by step, and it's time-consuming. It's often very frustrating. And I can assume that if you go into the AM Navigator, it's no longer that you you get a hint where to start probably, but also where it could end. It must not be the whole way, but this is how I understand it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And at the end, don't assume that we have all solutions. We have a structured approach you can use as an approach to find a solution. We have these kind of 10 chapters, which are dimensions to look into. But at the end, every company needs to look based on their strategy, their business. Is it automotive, aerospace, railway, different kind of probably standardization required, qualification required. At the end, every company can use the framework, but you need to find your way. It's like in a car. We don't say where to go, but we help you to find the best way to that. But you need to find and you need to decide for you as a company where you want to go. Therefore, the solution still depends on the user, how they use it and use it as a structured approach. And as well as an industry coming up with one model instead of 5, 10, 20 models that we probably sometimes confused our customers with different kind of structures and models in the past.
Heavily, I guess. Felix.
What I would like to add, what's very important to understand with this industrialization model, we are not telling everyone you need to be at level 5, right? I guess in the past, everyone talked about these fully automated factories, but every application, every use case is different. And we definitely are not telling customers you need to be there. With this application, it's really about giving a framework and discussing with the customer what are the right needs in the different dimension. But it's not that we tell everyone, hey, now we have this framework. The goal is that everyone is at level 5.
Yeah, that would be my next question. I mean, you still stick to the maturity levels. So how do they help the customer in understanding its level? So the maturity level guides you in a certain direction, what still has to be done. Is that the way it works? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Felix, one more question. So what is the exact target group of the AM I Navigator? It's mainly the user, isn't it? So how do you advertise it then? Because I mean, inside the industry, if I would ask any provider, the bigger ones, they would say, yeah, I heard of this initiative. But what about the end users that...
I mean, we implement this in our day-to-day discussions with customers.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is great interest. When you show them the concept of the model, when you show them who is contributing to it, there is great interest, and we use it in our day-to-day discussions with customers. And discuss with them their needs, and also where we, as dimension, can contribute in which dimensions. And there are also things like design. Yeah, we are a post-processing company. We are not designing is not our core competence. But if we see there is a big need for the customer, we go then to other partners in the consortium, and we do introductions to make sure that the customer is supported in the way it needs to be.
Mm.
I would say it's a bidirectional way. So we as well do these workshops with customers. We as well want to be challenged by the producer and designer. If they have requirements for the tech industries, please as well challenge us with topics which could bring it to the next level. We are about to publish as well these kind of transformational insights that everyone probably can learn from the others, that it does not need to take another 6 years to come to a level like a Siemens Energy. So we try to publish, by that try to accelerate, get more sharing of recipes, and therefore the industry should help to make this more successful for more companies.
One good way for advertising would be to make a link to the universities teaching product design. Do you have contact there already, or is it not your approach? That would be the very first step to get to the future user.
Yeah, first the company started to really solve real daily issues and challenges if you want to design and produce. We probably would have more academics. We have a long list actually from Formnext as well, Fraunhofer, other institutes that are interested to hook up and to put probably more academic content behind it. Highly welcome. So we invite all these companies to provide. It's a continuous improving model. So it will be not finished probably in 1 year. It will be not finished in 2 years. It should continuously improve with more content, and everyone is invited, as well as you, Felix, already mentioned, to contribute. And there are different ways how you can contribute. One additional topic is that we probably cannot fulfill each and every demand within the next 4 weeks, because this is so awesome in terms of requests. So we will continue to have as well a user group where we continuously have virtual calls, give them updates, engage them, and then learn from each other.
So one step after the other.
Let's put it that way. That was, by the way, Karsten, that was a fantastic closing word. I was thinking about asking another question, but we're running out of time. As you see, super interesting topic. And you know what I like about this topic? Then that I can give a shout out to the viewers and users out there. So thank you to all of you here on stage. It was a very fruitful, interesting discussion. I learned a little bit more. Fantastic. Hopefully do our viewers as well. So dear viewers, that was our morning talk with a very specific topic, the AM I Navigator. I hope you heard the CTA, the call to action. So go to the guys, get connected, get part of the AM I Navigator. It needs to be growing, because this will empower our industry even more and push the industrialization in our industry. You will enjoy now a little bit of highlights, and after that we step into the topic of artificial intelligence, and I promise you there will still be humans on stage. See you in a few minutes.